Hello my dear students, welcome all of you in our PPS video lecture series. I am Professor Bhumi Patel from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology, and in a previous lecture our third module is completed, and now today I am going to start with the new unit, that is unit number 4, array and string. Now what is the requirement for this unit? So let's see here. The first variable is just like integer a equals 10, that store only the one values, and suppose you want to store multiple values in a single variable, then it is possible? No, for that we have to write number of variables to store each and every values. But now our unit is array, that support that thing, means we can store multiple value in a single variables. How? Let's see here. In a topics we have to learn the introduction and types, then second is a one dimensional array, then third is a two dimensional array, then after we have to learn for a second part of this unit, that is introduction to string, and then different string handling function. Now the first is introduction to array. So the definition is, it is a collection of elements with the same data type using single name. Means you can store multiple values in a single variable name, but the thing is what, that all are of a same kind. Suppose you want to store all the integer value in a single variable, then also it is possible with array. But if you want to store multiple value with a different data type, then it is not possible with a array. Now there are two different types of array. First is a single dimensional and second one is a multi-dimensional, or we can say that two-dimensional array. Now what is the advantage and disadvantage of using this? So first advantage, as I said earlier, it is used to store multiple values. Then second is you can access any number of elements, element third, element 10, using just only the index for that particular value. And the last one is you can perform any matrix operation like matrix addition, multiplication, transpose of matrix using this array concept. And the drawback is wastage of memory. How? Suppose you are taken the array size 10 and suppose you store only the 3 values, then what happen? The 7 remaining will be wastage. Then second one is what? You can add or delete data? No, it is not possible to add and delete a element from the array. And now the third one is you can store only the same kind of data together using array. The different types of data you cannot combine using array. Now let's understand in a detail the types of array, and the first type is one dimensional array. Now the syntax for a one dimensional array is what? First you have to write the primary data types that are already discussed in our previous theory, that is integer, float, character, like that. And then you have to give the name of array, and then in a square bracket we have to write the size in a integer only, and then semicolon. Now the example is just like primary data type, here I am taken integer, meaning is what? You can collect, you can combine integer kind of data together using the name of array capital A, and the size is here 3, means total 3 elements you can combine in a variable A. Then say here how the memory will be occupied for this syntax. So whenever I am writing this line just like integer a of 3, then total 6 bytes of data will be occupied, because integer occupies 2 bytes and there are 3 elements. So 3 into 2, how many? 6 bytes will be occupied and 2 bytes for a single variables. So the first is a of 0, that is the first element, then a of 1, second element, and a of 2. Likewise that you can store multiple values with a single name, that is a. So all the values we can access using just index. Now move to the initialization parts. How we can assign the value into our memory. So there are two different types of initialization. First is a compile time and second is a run time. Compile time means the fixed value we can assign to our array, that is never change during our program. But the run time means what? The data will be given from the user and that will be dynamic. So compile time initialization use the fixed value for our array. Whenever the run time memory allocation means we can assign data at a run time. Now how it is possible using compile time initializations? For that we have to use the declaration part same as integer a of 3 and then equal to the list of values. Suppose here 3 values we have to insert, just like 5, 2, 7. So during our execution the array element will be fixed. Now second one is a runtime initialization, in which we can assign the data from the user, and for that we have to use the for loop, that is already discussed in our previous lectures. So for has a 3 part. First is the initialization condition and then increment decrement. So the array index always start with a 0. So here in a I equals 0 there will be present, and then after the condition, that is I less than 3, because the total number of elements are 3, and for that we have to increase the our index, that is I plus plus, and inside this for loop we have to write the printf and scanf functions like scanf %d, then end of a of I. So one by one a of 0, a of 1, a of 2 will be stored in our particular array. Now see how it is stored in our memory. So same memory will be occupied 6 byte. First is a of 0, second is a of 1 and third one is a of 2, and the data that we are used in a compile time suppose will be stored in our memory. So first 5 will be stored, then 2 and then 7. So 5, 2 and 7 is nothing but our elements, whereas a of 0, a of 1 and a of 2 is nothing but our index for accessing that particular value. Now let's understand better with our simple example to read the data from the user for a one-dimensional array and print the same data using one-dimensional array. So first we have to include our header file, that is stdio.h. Then after in a void main we have to write the declaration of array, that is integer a of 3. Same here I am using, and for a for loop the second variable is needed, that is I. Then after declaration we have to initialize the value for that particular array, and for that we have to write in a printf enter arrayments. Then in a for loop I start with 0 always, because the array index start with 0, I less than 3 and then I plus plus. Inside this for loop we have to write the scanf functions %d and end of a of I. This part will be fixed whenever you are writing any of the program using one-dimensional array. Now after that our logic will be started. Here I want just to print the data that is already inputted by the user. So for that we have to again use a for loop, and before for loop we are writing just the message the array elements equals what, that is our for loop for I equals 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Same for loop, only the change is what, instead of scanf now we have to print that data. So we have to write the printf. Inside printf we have to write double inverted a of in a square bracket %d equals %d then /n. And first %d has a value of I and second %d has a value of a of I, that is I is index and a of I, that is our elements of array. Clear? So what is the output of this program? Suppose user enter the value like 3, 4 and 6. So that value will be printed on our output screen, and the message is just like enter elements, and user enter 3, 4, 6. Then the output is array elements equals, first is a of 0 because I is 0, then equal to 3 because first element is 3. Then I will be incremented and printed a of 1 equals 4. Then I will be incremented and the print a of 2 equals 6. Likewise that you can store any number of data in our array. For that you have to just change the conditions. Clear? So this is about the one dimensional array. In a practical session we will discuss more about this one dimensional array. Welcome to our practical session, and first practical, that is print array elements, we are already completed. So see here the definition is just like write a program to find the sum, average and maximum from any array elements, that is for only one dimensional. Clear? So for that first we have to write the header files, and that is has include stdio.h. Then after including header files we have to write void main. Inside void main first part is the declaration of one dimensional array, and that is integer variable, that is for array A, and inside square bracket we have to write how many elements you want to store. Suppose here I am taken the 10 elements. Then we need two variables here. First is a I for a for loop, and second is a n for how many values you want to store. So here total 10 value you can store in an array, but suppose you want only 3 values to store, then it is depends on a variable n. So value of n is given from the user. If it given 3, then only 3 data will be stored. If it is given 7, then 7 value will be stored in our variable A. But how many maximum data we will store? Only the 10, because the maximum size is 10. Clear? And for that first we have to read the value of n using printf and scanf. So we have to write in a printf enter how many data you want. Clear? And the scanf function has value %d, and then which value we have to read from the user? The value of n. Suppose here n is 3, then our loop will be executed 3 times. Here n is 7, then our loop will be executed 7 times. Clear? And now use the array concept. For that we have to write just the printf and the message enter array elements. Now the for loop is there. Which method we are using? Runtime initialization. And for that in a for we have to write like I equals 0. Array index always start with 0, and then I less than n, and then I plus plus. Clear? Now inside this for loop we have to write the scanf function to read the data from the user using scanf %d, then comma end of A. A means it store only single value. Now we have to store multiple value using array. So after A we have to write in a square bracket the variable I. Clear? So this program will be fixed. Up to this we have to write for each and every program of one dimensional array. So simply when you have a question in your GTU exam like you have to find sum for a one dimensional array, then you have to write up to this, and then you have to put the logic how we can find the sum. Clear? And for that now we have to find the formula. So what is the formula? Just recall the previous lectures where we are writing the sum of 1 to n numbers in our algorithm and flow chart, and the formula is sum equals sum plus I. Clear? So instead of I, now we have to put A of I, because now we want to add sum of array elements, and for that we have to write A of I everywhere in our program. So for that we have to write the for loop again. In a for we have to write I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Which formula you have to write? Sum equals sum plus a of I. Clear? Now the variable is missing, which one? Sum, and the by default value of sum is 0. So write here in a declaration part, sum equals 0. So this is the logic to find the sum. Now print that answer. For that we have to write printf in a double inverted sum equals percentage d, and then the value of sum we have to print. So first see the output of sum program, then we are discussing more about average and maximum. So first execute this program, compile it first. There is no error, so you can run. Just see here the message, enter how many data you want. Suppose here I am entering 3, so you can store only the 3 values in our array and enter array elements. Suppose I enter 10, then 20 and again 20. Then what happens? The sum will be displayed, that is sum equals 50. So likewise that you can find the sum. Now the second is what? Find the average. For the average the formula is sum divided by numbers. Clear? And that value will be always in a float. So first we have to declare the variable float and the average. Clear? Now put the formula after finding sum, that is average equal sum divided by n. Now what happened when you are writing this logic? Recall the previous one, that is explicit conversion. When we are needed that here the sum is integer, n is integer, so integer divided by integer, we are getting answer in a integer, and that will be converted in a float. So proper answer we will not get. So for that we have to type here before sum the function float. Clear? So this is what? Explicit conversion. Now you are getting the proper answer and print it using printf functions. The average equal percentage f, and then the value of which variable we want? Average. So this is the logic for finding average. Now just check here the output. First compile the program and run it. Again the message is enter how many data you want. Suppose I am taking again 3 and enter the array elements, that is 2, 3 and 4. So here the sum equals 9 and average equals 3. Clear? Likewise that now you can find the maximum. Put just here the slash n for a new line, and third variable now we are needed for a maximum, that is max. Now put the logic for finding maximum, that is maximum equals a of 0. Now what is the meaning of these statements? The first element is nothing but a of 0. Clear? And that will be assuming it is a max. So the line indicates what? The first element of our array will be max. Now in a for loop we have to write like I equals 0, then I less than n and I plus plus the logic. Now for that first we have to check the condition. Which condition? If a of I greater than max, then we have to change our maximum value using max equals a of I. Clear? So now how this logic will work? Maximum. So let's take here example. Suppose here in a scanf we are storing the value of array, and suppose that is 10 first element, 20 for a second element and 30 for a third element. So what happen when we are writing this statement maximum equals a of 0, then max equals what? Here the max equals a of 0, that is first value, that is 10. Clear? And now our loop will be executed how many times? 3 times, because n is 3. And check the condition here. If a of I means a of 0 right now. So a of 0, that is 10, is greater than 10, because maximum is also 10. So this condition becomes false. So again move to the for loop, because I is incremented and I becomes 1. and 1 is less than 3 again. So go inside the for loop and check the condition. If a of 1, now a of 1 is nothing but our 20. So check 20 is greater than maximum. Maximum is right now 10. So 20 is greater than 10. Yes. So the value of maximum will be changed because the condition is true. So go inside the if, and now maximum equals 20. So our original value of max equals 10 will be now changed and it becomes 20. Clear? Now go again in a for loop. I will be incremented by a 2 and 2 is less than 3. So go inside for and check the condition. A of 2 is greater than max. Now a of 2, that is our 30, and maximum is now 20. So 30 is greater than 20. Yes. So go inside if loop and maximum is now becomes 30. Now 20 will be removed. So we are getting maximum 30. Now again I will be incremented and becomes 3. Now our condition becomes false. 3 less than 3 becomes false and go outside of for loop. So finally we are getting the maximum value from 10, 20 and 30, and that is 30. Clear? So we have to display this value using printf function. Maximum equal %d, in which variable it is stored? In a max. So this is the program using one dimensional array. Now execute this program. No error. So you can run it. How many data you want? Just for example, I am taken 4 and enter array element, suppose 5, 3, 2 and 6. So the sum equals 16 we are getting, average equals 4 because 16 divided by 4 is 4 and the maximum value is 6. Clear? So this is about the one dimensional array. So likewise that you can write any of the program using one dimensional array. I hope you guys understand this concept very well. If you like this video, then thumbs up. If you think this video will help some of your friends, then do share this video with them. Also you can subscribe my channel, so when I upload new video you get a notification. Thank you.